Hey everyone, welcome to A Bluer Nation. My name is Jerry Foley. I'm the senior editor of the Giant Insider newspaper, and with me is Chris Bisignano, the beat writer for the Giant Insider. And Chris, seems like it's been a year since we've done this, and I guess that's what happens when you have a win and the week. I don't know, it felt like it should have gone by fast, but I don't know. I just kept thinking about this game coming up, and I think it's because the anticipation of the Giants maybe evening the record at 2-2. I think there's a lot of hope with this team right now, especially after the win last week. Look, I'm of the belief, and I've always been, that Drew Brees is a much different quarterback outside the dome than he is at home. What matchup are you looking at this week that could be to the Giants' favor? I mean, besides the fact that Brees needs it to be 72 degrees, no humidity, no wind, in order to really function. And I say that tongue in cheek, but I also mean it. What's the matchup you're looking at this week where the Giants can take advantage of?
Well, weather's not going to be a factor, bud. It's supposed to be beautiful, so that doesn't work in our favor. The matchup, I would say, is going to be the Giant receivers against that Saints secondary. That's something I feel we could do. The Giants could do a lot of things with Odell and Shepard and Saquon out of the backfield, and their secondary give up a lot of big plays, Jerry. A lot of big plays. So if you get some time, that's something they could definitely exploit, bud, right there.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of role do you see Red Ellison playing this week? Is he going to get, I guess, the bulk of the snaps at tight end? What'd you see in practice this week with him?
Yeah. He's going to get the bulk, no question about it. He's going to be involved in a receiving game, like he was last week. When he had the touchdown. Listen, obviously he's not Evan Ingram as far as running routes, and speed and all that, but he is going to be involved in his passing game. There's no question about it. Besides his blocking role, so look for him. Especially, with Cody Latimer down now, not going Sunday. So, Russell Shepard, the veteran, has to step up to number 3, and that could open up, some more for Red Ellison. So.
Yeah, expand on that a little bit, Bud. What happened with Latimer? I didn't see it in the game Sunday. What's his? Did he get injured during the week?
He got injured supposedly. All of a sudden, he popped up on the injury report. I believe it was Tuesday with the knee.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he caught it up in the game, during the game, and it acted up during the week, and he's out. I mean, it went from okay, he's got a little knee issue, until up until now, where it comes out today. I was shocked to see him not practicing yesterday, and then today they ruled him out. So, I saw him in the locker room. He was walking around. He didn't look bad, but obviously, something's bothering him in that knee. So. Now they're down a kickoff return. I mean, they're down. The punt return. The punt return team has been a kind of an issue, and now Latimer is out for Sunday. So let's see what Sherman does as far as returning kickoffs.
Yeah, and you mentioned Russell Shepard, and that's one Panther who's going to actually play. The Giants, of course, put another Panther on injured reserve, and Jonathan Stewart today. And look, Gettleman got a lot of heat. When he signed him during training camp, during the preseason, and now. Giant fans were not happy about Jonathan Stewart coming here. And when you have to, but I keep reminding them, and I have to tell myself this too, because it does look on the surface like it was a rather expensive free agent acquisition for someone who was just going to be 4th on the depth chart. He was here for his leadership. He was here for his locker room presence and to teach Saquon. And look, I don't know what else goes on in the locker room between those guys, but he wasn't here to be the 2008 version of Jonathan Stewart, and it'll be interesting to see what Russell Shepard brings to the table, really as the third receiver this week. So it's I guess a good piece of information that you gave us. I wasn't even aware about Latimer until I think I heard it yesterday, and I just again I was kind of puzzled by that. But Russell Shepard, does he have any experience on kickoff returns or punt returns, Bud?
Yeah, he's been the special teams guy before.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they're going to use. Yeah, I mean, in camp they had him returning punts, fielding punts, and some kickoffs. So I don't know if that's the plan. Sunday we'll see. Sherman's, this kind of drew a wrinkle and everything. So I don't know, Jerry. We'll see what he does. I wasn't really crazy about this Stacy Cooley guy returning punts and Coley, whatever you say his name. And I don't know. Let's see what he does. I don't know what he's going to do for Sunday.
Well, as long as he doesn't kneel, I can handle anything. As long as he just doesn't kneel again. I'm tired of seeing guys kneel every week. Along the injury front, and then I'll get back to the receivers. Olivier Vernon, it looks like he's not going to play again. How close is he?
He's out.
What did you see in practice? How close is he? I believe he practiced 2 days in a row.
Yeah, I think he's real close. I think you might see him next week. Listen, when I saw him during the week, I figured he would be a game time decision. They ruled him out today. So, but he's close. I would not be surprised to see him play against Carolina next Sunday. Eli Apple, that hamstring, obviously, he's ruled out Sunday. And it's going to be iffy, whether or not he goes against Carolina next week. But I expect to see Vernon. You're going to see two guys coming back next week. I believe Vernon and Josh Morrow.
Josh Morrow. Well, I guess that makes the Stewart move to IR, I guess, a little simpler in that Morrow will just take his spot on the active roster, no?
I'm sorry, Jerry?
Excuse me. The move to put Stewart on IR, I guess, frees up a spot for Morrow to come back, no?
Morrow will be back. Yeah, next week. Yeah, sure. Yes, Stewart's and they actually brought Joel Davis on the practice squad. He's on the roster.
Yes.
Sunday.
Oh, so that's a good point. So then they're going to have to make another move to put.
They're going to have to make another
roster. Yeah.
They're going to have to make another move. Yeah, they're going to have to make another move next week when Morrow comes back.
Got it.
So.
All right. You talked about Beckham and the matchup with the Saints secondary. Is there anyone in that secondary that scares you? One, and then two, will they have one guy on Beckham? You think, or you think they'll mix it up? Or do they play a side? Do you have any idea? And will they just put Beckham all over the place like they normally do?
Well, Lattimore obviously is the best player in the secondary.
Yeah.
He's real good, my son. Now, watching the tape last week against the Falcons, he was on Julio Jones sometimes he wasn't. It was sort of like the Jalen Ramsey defense. So against Jacksonville, where a lot of people thought Ramsey was going to, shadow Odell the whole game when he didn't. You're not going to see Lattimore playing him the whole game either. They play. Listen, they can't afford, Jerry, just to have Lattimore play Odell 1-on-1 because the rest of the secondary is horrible. So they got to protect a lot. They protect a little man under. They do a lot of zone, single high. They have to mix it up because they're so bad. They can't just play man up with guys. Excuse me. Lattimore, like I said, Lattimore mixed it up last week with Julio Jones. He played a man sometimes, and they play a lot of zone on him. So, no, I don't expect Lattimore to defend Odell 1-on-1 the whole game. You will see it mixed up. And as far as Odell...
Yeah, go ahead.
As far as Odell goes, if that is their game, if that is Dennis Allen's game plan of having Lattimore just, defend Odell, then you will see Sherman moving him around, I'm sure, in the slide. You're going to see it anyway. He's going to be in the slide. He's going to move it all over the place.
All right, so it begs the question then, right? Will Eli have time to exploit that? Will he have time to find his weapons downfield, whether it's Odell, Sterling Shepard, Russell Shepard, Ellison, and that Saints pass rush is, I don't know if it's as prolific from a name standpoint as Houston, but they're probably more effective, no?
Well, Houston's got a lot more guys to get to the quarterback.
No, but I mean, at least this year, I should say.
Yeah, listen, New Orleans is, they come at you basically with the front four. They'll blitz a little bit, but they basically come at you because they got one of the best defensive ends of the game, with Cameron Jordan, and he's going to be lining up opposite of Chad Wheeler, So that's going to be a problem. They got some guys could get there. The kid Davenport, their number one pick, he had a sack last week, but he's a little banged up this week. He's questionable going into Sunday, but he's starting, he's a raw talent that's starting to come on a little bit. And they have some other guys, but listen, Houston has more guys that can get to the quarterback. I believe they pose more of a, they were more of a problem for the Giants than you will see Sunday. But they are capable. They do have one of the better defensive ends, so they are capable of wreaking havoc on Eli. But I think Jerry, I think this week Eli is going to have a little more time. I think you're going to see him doing some big things Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, welcome to 2018 starting lineup, Chad Wheeler, huh? 2 weeks in a row, going against premier pass rushers, and it'll be interesting to see how he holds up.
Yeah, Jerry, it's pretty funny. You see some guys on Twitter. I was talking about Chad Wheeler. You were talking about him. As far as playing J.J. Watt. A lot of people gave him a pass. Well, it's J.J. Watt. Like, what do you expect? I mean, well, first of all, he is playing right tackle. You can't just allow 3 sacks. I know it's J.J. Watt, but number 2, he, like you just said, he's going from J.J. Watt to Cameron Jordan. I mean, Jordan is excellent. He's excellent off that edge, so he's not getting a break this week, Wheeler. Listen, Jerry, the excuse of, well, it's J.J. Watt, that's allowed, to give up that many sacks and press, Listen, he's facing another good one this week, and he's going to have to block him. He's going to get help at times, Jerry. No question about it. He's going to get help. And Sherman took some of the blame last week. He said he left him out there. He stretched him out a little bit where he shouldn't have been by himself. But listen, Jerry, he's going to have to block him one-on-one a lot. And, this is a matchup, if he could, play well against Jordan, it's going to really benefit Eli in this offense.
What are you seeing from Barkley this week as far as you think the Giants will stick to the run or just use the run to set up the pass because that secondary of the Saints is so weak?
You know what, Jerry? I think they're going to use the run to set up the pass because there's so much opportunity, Jerry.
Now, not to interrupt you, but last week you said they're going to stick to the run, and they did. So listen. I think you have the pulse of this team. I think you're getting it right, and that's why I kind of asked the question because I think I believe as well that this will be a game where Eli Manning's probably going to throw the ball, 45 times, and part of it's going to be because of the Saints secondary, part of it's going to be because that Saints offense is no joke.
Yeah, Jerry, listen, you have to take advantage of the defense, what their weaknesses are.
Right.
So I believe they will, set up the pass with the run. You know what I mean? I do. I'm sorry, Jerry. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you got it. I was thinking about it too. It's funny. I was like, he got that right. Yes.
Yeah, I got that right. I said it right. I think they will because there's just too much opportunity, Jerry, with this Saints secondary to come in and pound the ball. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
I know, a lot of people, including myself, you look at it and say, okay, you know what, we got to control the clock, keep Breeze off the field. But when a secondary is giving up huge chunks of yards like they're giving up, Jerry, and you have a guys like Odell and Shep running around out there, you got to take your shots, bud. You got to throw the ball down the field, and I think you will. I think Eli and the offense will.
Yeah, I believe so too. And as long as he has time. And we saw it last week, and we're going to see it all season. It's going to be the same theme, the same narrative. If Eli has time, I think he's as good as anybody in the league. And I think he's an accurate passer, especially down the field. And they just got to keep him upright. And I think he can match Breeze in a shootout, kind of like he did, a few years ago?
Yeah, he's done it before.
Yeah, 52-49. Yeah. And that was a game where the defense couldn't stop anybody. And then I think we punted midfield rather than out of bounds and set him up for a field goal perfectly. And anyway, I don't want to rehash that. But on defense, I mean, look, without Eli Apple, it's definitely – and I can't believe I say that every week, but it's true. Yeah. Without Eli Apple, this is even harder, right? I mean, Drew Brees is still excellent. Thomas is a great receiver. What are you seeing the Giants doing to try and slow that Saint passing attack and offense down, if anything?
Oh man, I tell you, this really concerns me. Last week concerned me with B.W. Webb. Don't get me wrong, but this week, Sean Payton's so smart offensively, man. I tell you, I could see them going after B.W. Webb continuously. You know what really worries me, Jerry?
What's that?
Mike Thomas is going to get his catches. We know that. Mike Thomas is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I tell you what's worrying me is Ted Ginn Jr.
Yeah, he kills us. It seems like every time he plays us, no matter what team he's on, he kills us.
I'm really worried about the vertical game with him against us Sunday. I think he's going to hurt us. If not, let's put it this way. Peyton, Breeze, they're going to take 2 shots down the field with Ted Ginn Jr. Sunday.
Yeah, right.
And even Jackrabbit on him, or B.W. Webb. They get him out there with B.W. Webb on him on a one-on-one. Breeze is going to go that way, man. They're going to take their shots,
That's why my hope this game is 425, that it's a little cool for Drew Brees and a little too slightly windy. That's my only hope in this one, because I agree with you. I think that offense, Brees, the weapons he has, are banged up secondary. And look, man, they did an admirable job last week, I think. B.W. Webb played pretty well.
Yeah.
He kept Hopkins out of the end zone. The Texans scored a late touchdown that was really pretty meaningless as 1 second left in the game. So, look, they did a good job, but this is going to be a test. And look, we're going to see this every week, where some aspect of this Giants team, until they prove that they're a good team, is going to be tested. And this week will be the offensive line and the secondary. So it'll be interesting to see what the Giants do to combat it, and if Betcher has the stones to blitz in this one with Brees, hopefully not picking them apart. And that's one thing with Brees, and it reminds me of Peyton Manning. They almost welcome the blitz. They kind of love when you blitz them, because they just make the hot read and kill you.
Oh, Jerry, it's amazing. I've been watching their games this season. I was watching their 3 games, and it's so amazing when you blitz Brees how quick he is and knowing where everybody is. Everybody's in the right spot. He gets rid of the ball so quick. It's so hard to blitz him, Jerry. It's so hard to stop him that way, man, because he's just, oh my God, the offense is just, and it's Kamara. I mean, he is ridiculous at it. And I talked to a lot of Giants this week about Kamara, and they were all praising him. They were all talking about how unbelievable this kid is. How many targets he gets. Last week, 15 catches, 20 targets for a running back, Jerry? That is unbelievable. How about that matchup, too? Him coming out of the backfield. Let's see what Betcher does with that. I mean, we're going to have linebackers trying to cover him. I mean, he poses a major problem, Jerry. That's going to be a matchup, Jerry. That I could see him really hurting us out of the backfield.
Do you see Ray Armstrong or Ogletree covering him for the most part? What do you think?
I see Ray. Yeah, I mean, I could see Ray Armstrong covering him, and then if a linebacker like him can't cover him, then you're going to have to throw. You're going to have to throw a defensive back on him. But they line him up all over, though. It's like they'll line him up like Saquon last week. They'll split him wide right. They'll split him wide left. They'll put him in a slot. It's a very difficult matchup, Jerry. I mean, obviously.
Forget about rushing 4.
Yeah.
We forget about rushing 4. We may have to rush 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'm sure Betcher's going to mix it up. He'll rush 3. He'll rush, he'll send 5. He'll send 4.
Yeah.
And they have a good line, Jerry. The Saints have a real good offensive line, but this isn't going to be like last week. Giants had 2 sacks, 3 sacks. I think they had 3 sacks, and they had numerous pressures.
They had it was Carter, B.J. Hill, and the third one's escaping me. But Kerry Wynn had a great game, but he didn't get a sack.
Yeah.
It was Hill, Carter, and I can't think of the third person. Yeah,
I'm drawing a blank myself.
Yeah.
Who was it? Yeah, but they also had numerous pressures. I mean, Kareem Martin, he must have had about 3 to 4 pressures himself.
Was it? It might have been Kareem Martin. It may have been Kareem Martin that got the sack. I forget.
Yeah, it might have been him. I'm drawing a blank too. But you're not going to see that this week, Jerry. You're not going to see a ton of. I don't expect to see 4 sacks, 3 sacks, and numerous pressures. Not against this line. And not the way Brees gets rid of the ball.
Special teams. We talked about it with the Giants. Ted Ginn. I'm assuming he's back returning for the Saints. And forgive me because I don't know that. I don't know if he is or not. But he beat us a few years ago on he killed us on a kickoff return or punt return. How's he doing? Is he doing that with the Saints, or who is? And if Ginn is, how much of a threat is he there still?
Well, who's been returning punts and who's been on a return team is this third-string quarterback, Taysom Hill, the old Brigham Young quarterback.
Really?
All right, I put it on Twitter the other day that this guy is getting rushes. He's returning on special teams, and he plays a little defense on top of it. I mean, it's just. Leave it to Sean Payton to find somebody like this. I mean, it's amazing. You'll see him Sunday. All right, he's been getting more and more involved. in their game plan, and it's remarkable to see. Last week, I'm watching this guy against the Falcons. I'm like, who is this guy? And you look him up. He's a quarterback.
Yeah.
You'll see him Sunday. Taysom Hill. I mean, it's amazing. It's simply amazing that Sean Payton gets these guys involved. But he's going to be another challenge because he's been involved in their game plan, Jerry, offensively.
By the way, the other sack was Mario Edwards. Go figure.
Oh yeah, Matt. I even congratulated him a lot. I totally forgot about that.
Oh, did you really? Oh, that's great. Nice.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll go back to this game, and we'll talk about predictions and all. But more importantly, you've caught up and passed me in picks so far. You're a +2 now. I forget. Who did you have last night? Was it the Vikings or Rams?
I had the Rams winning.
I know you did. I'm lying. I have it. I just wanted to see. I wanted to see if you'd say Vikings because I had the Rams, so I can catch up one before we kind of started here, so I could at least be down 1. So right now I'm down 2, and
you had the Vikings last night, bud?
No. I had the Rams, but I was hoping you would say that you had the Vikings so that we could be closer.
I'm sorry, bud.
No, you're fine. Honesty is the best policy, pal. So let's start with the 1 o'clocks. You go first. Texans at Colts. Do you think the Texans get their first win? Who do you like, bud?
I tell you what, I like the way the Colts have been playing. I'm going to go with the Colts at home. I'm not crazy the way these Texans look, man. Last week the Colts, they got within 4, and they were actually inside the 10-yard line to win their game against the Eagles. They beat the Redskins the week before. I'm going to go with the Colts in the close one, winning at home.
That's a tough game, man. I mean, these games, it seems like you can flip a coin now, and you have just as much.
By the way, Jerry, 1 second, just to get back here, let's not forget about we were actually about the special teams and the Saints. Let's not forget who returns kickoffs too for these guys. Kamara.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he does it all.
I thought I'd be happy not to see Ginn, but now I'm terrified to see other guys.
Ginn, listen, Ginn has been returning some punts too, and they had this, like I just talked about, that quarterback.
Yeah.
Getting involved, but Kamara returns kickoffs too, bud. So
Texans Colts. Okay, Texans Colts. I'm not going to go against you on this one. I'm going to stay close. I'm going to go with the Colts as well. I just think the Texans 0-3. I know they're desperate, but I think 5 teams have made the playoffs after starting 0-3, and I don't think the Texans are going to be the 6th. So I'm going with the Colts. Bills Packers 1 o'clock.
I'm going to go with the Pack, bouncing back.
Yeah, that's an easy one too.
I know the Bills are the big upset of the Vikings last week. I do not see that happening in Lambeau this week. I think the Packers
and based on that, I didn't start Kirk Cousins last night for my fantasy team, and he put a lot of points up. So thanks a lot, Bills. You completely destroyed my confidence in Kirk Cousins, and of course I can't pick that right either. I sat Cooper Kupp and Kirk Cousins last night. Cooper Kupp I think had 95 points.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp probably had about 30 points.
I'm the worst coach. I'm a great GM. I figured out I'm a great GM, but I'm a terrible coach. I can draft the guys. I can bring them in. I just can't put them in a position to win. So I'm with you on this one. I'm going to take the Packers. I think they smoke the Bills. Buccaneers at Bears. This will be a good one to see if the Buccaneers can bounce back. And Bears are kind of a surprise team so far.
Yeah, well, that bad defense is getting better and better, boy. They're playing in Chicago. Tampa Bay, well, they had a big comeback last week, second half, but fell short. Fitzpatrick. I'm going to go with the Khalil Mack factor in this one, but I think there's too much Khalil Mack, too much Bears defense in this. I like the Bears at home.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bucs. You know why? Too much Mitch Trubisky. I'm not a believer in him yet. I think Fitzpatrick will make fewer mistakes than Trubisky. I think it'll be a close one, but I'm going to go with the Bucs. Dolphins at Patriots. Dolphins 3-0, Patriots 1-2.
Man, could the Patriots actually lose 3 games in a row? Oh my God! I tell you, I don't like them at all, New England, man. The way they look, that roster. But I tell you what, this is a tough one. I'm going to go with New England strictly on their history and their past.
I couldn't agree more. I'm the same way. I don't like New England, but I like them this week.
Yeah.
I just don't see them going 1-3, and I can't see the Dolphins going 4-0. I'm not a believer in the Dolphins yet.
Yeah, Brady's 14-1 against Miami up in Foxborough. I mean, they got to be a little pissed off, no, right, bud? I mean, they got to. Belichick's got to be doing something this week. I can't go against them. I'm gonna go with New England.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Lions at Cowboys, 1:00.
Lions are coming off an impressive win, right? 1-2 now. Cowboys, they got beat up pretty good last week against Seattle. You know what, though? Dallas plays a little quicker at home. I'm going to go with Dallas at home.
I'm going to go Dallas, too. Real quick, a guy who works in the Lions organization, went to my high school, Brendan Profit. He's the director of pro personnel. Still have his phone number, so I texted him after the game. He used to work for the Jets, Brendan Profit. So I texted him after the game. I said, hey, Brendan, great win for you guys. Congrats. He writes back, yeah, you guys look great against Houston. And I wrote back, Brendan, I don't really have any affiliation with the Giants other than covering them. You actually work for your organization. I just thought that was funny that he wrote that back. Like, hey, big win for you guys. Like, yeah, dude, I had no input in it at all. I just rooted them on really hard. So, another 1:00.
That's a good connection to have.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Really good guy. Was a ridiculous athlete. 1:00 game, Bengals at Falcons.
Bengals at Falcons. Falcons are really devastated. They're getting, I mean, the injuries on their defensive side of the ball is really hurting them, man. But for some reason now, all of a sudden, they're scoring every time they're in the red zone now. Calvin Ridley's going wild, right? I'm going to go, I'm not crazy about that Bengals team. I'm going to go with Atlanta at home.
Yeah, me too. Falcons at home. They're tough to beat at home. Another 1:00. We got two more ones. Jets at Jaguars.
Oh, I'm going to go with Jaguars are going to be really pissed off this week, man. They lost a pretty ugly one last week at home. Sam Darnold is going to be, he's going to be introduced to a pretty good defense Sunday. I'm going to go with a very pissed off Jaguar team.
I'm going to go with the Jags too, but I think this game is going to be a lot closer than people think. I think the Jet defense will frustrate Bortles. I'm not a believer in Bortles still. I think he's going to ultimately hold them back from being a special team. I'm going with Jacksonville, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. Last 1:00, the feathered helmet unit in Philadelphia against the Titans.
Yeah, it looks like Ashton Jeffrey's back, right? I'm going to go with Carson Wentz getting his feet under him and some more of those legs under him. I'm going to go with I hate to say it, but I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Yeah, I am too. And by the way, I'm not sure if you heard, tragic today, Wes Hopkins at 57 years old, former safety. Great player, always a player I like. I mean, I hate the Eagles, but always liked Wes Hopkins. I thought he was a hard-nosed player, hard hitter. Would be scared to death to go over the middle against him. And they didn't say why he died, but really tragic.
Oh, okay.
Young guy. I mean, 57, way too early. And prayers for the Eagles and Wes Hopkins' family. Man, that's terrible.
Yeah, he was a good player. Real physical safety.
Yep. Browns at Raiders, 4:00.
I think Gruden gets his first one in this. I know Mayfield, looked great, the whole thing, but I'm going to go with Gruden's lost 2 tough games in a row. I'm going to go with Gruden pulling this one out at home. I'm
going to stick with the Raiders stink. John Gruden stinks. He's been out of the game too long. I'm a believer in Mayfield. This is my second one different. I'm going with the Browns in this one, buddy. I think I'm a believer.
Right.
I'm a believer in Mayfield. I know you are too, and he will.
Yeah,
even if he looks good today, he's going to come back to earth soon. Just the nature of the NFL and rookies. But I think the Browns are going to beat the Raiders in Oakland. Seahawks at Cardinals, 4:00.
Josh Rosen, huh?
Yeah.
The Josh Rosen era begins against. I tell you what, a Seattle defense that many people thought were going to be pretty bad because they lost so many guys. Actually, they played pretty good. They're really quick as usual in that defense. I'm going to go with Seattle to pick off Rosen 3 times and beat Arizona.
I'm with you. I don't know why Rosen didn't start before. I don't understand why teams go with guys like Sam Bradford, especially after he's failed so many times. I mean, I just don't get it, especially when you draft him. I mean, unless you think the rookie's not ready, but Rosen's a smart kid. If anything, the physicality of the game will get to Rosen, but the mental aspect wouldn't. I never understood why he didn't start from the get-go. I agree with you, though. I'm going Seahawks. 49ers at Chargers. I'll start this one, bud. It's a horrible injury to Garoppolo, and I think the 49ers are going to be headed to a 4-win season now. I think Garoppolo would make that much of a difference. I mean, we saw what he did last year. I think the Chargers are going to smoke him at home.
Well, you don't think C.J. Beathard is going to pull off an upset?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. The Chargers, Chargers is a team that had division aspirations, right? Winning the division, maybe go and make a little run in the playoffs. They hit the out 1-2. I like them big at home on Sunday too.
Sunday night, Ravens at Steelers.
You go, bud.
I was hoping you would go because I don't know, man. I want to say the Ravens, but the Steelers at home. They found a new running back. Roethlisberger's still really good. I hate that team, but I'm going to go with them at home. I don't see them losing that game on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Jerry. I think Big Ben's a little too much for them, for the Ravens. Their offense has been pretty good, right? So, they lost a shootout against the Chiefs.
The defense has struggled, but the offense has been really good.
Yeah, so this league's about matchups, right? So you look at the Ravens' offense and say, okay, they're going to put 35 on the board against Pittsburgh. I don't believe so. I think Pittsburgh will put up 27-30. I like the Steelers too, bud.
Monday night, is this the week that Pat Mahomes comes back to earth, or is he going to throw for another 4 against the Broncos in Denver?
It's your call, bud. Dad.
Yeah, again, another one I was hoping you would go. I know, I'm totally trying to weasel out of going first. I believe in Mahomes. However, I do think there's going to be a week where we see a second-year quarterback rather than what looks like a 6-year veteran who's ripping apart opposing defenses. I'm actually going to go with the Broncos at home on this one.
Really? Okay.
No, so I'm assuming you don't.
What was that?
I said I'm assuming you don't. You're not going to go with the Broncos.
It's a tough. I've been going back and forth with this, Jerry. To be honest with you, Mahomes. This is his second start in Denver now. His only game last year, he beat the Broncos, 29-19. He looks better this year. I'm not really crazy about this Bronco team. I don't like Case Keenum the way he's playing.
Yeah.
Jerry, I'm going to have to go against you, but I'm going to go Mahomes again with a 27-20 win.
It's a reluctant one. I don't believe in the Broncos either. I just think Monday night, the atmosphere, I just, for some reason, have a feeling the Broncos are going to pull this one out. And even though the analytics would tell you otherwise, right? You're a baseball guy.
Well, you know what, Jerry? It's a good test of the Chiefs and Mahomes because the Broncos got some edge rushers out there. They got some 2 corners they could cover. They got the 2 edge guys who could come out and get you. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Mahomes plays against that defense.
All right, buddy. The most important game of the week, 4:25 Eastern Standard Time, exit 16W off the New Jersey Turnpike. The Saints come marching in. You go first. Who do you like?
I go first. Oh, I hate to say this, Jerry. You know where we're going with this, right?
Yep.
I hate this. Last week, I was so proud of myself, the whole thing. Texans, I hate to do this, Jerry. It kills me, but, watching the Saints on film, and I just think they're a little too much for the Giants, Jerry. I think their offensive line is going to give Breeze all the time in the world. I think Eli in the offense will score. But I think we lose like a 30-24, 30-27 game, Jerry, 33-20 or something like that. I'm going to go. I hate to say it, but I got to be honest, buddy. I think the Saints beat us Sunday.
I agree. I'm going to go for 2 reasons. One, everything we talked about, like you said, the offensive line of the Saints, the pass rush. It just seems like it kind of tips in their favor. And the other is I'm not picking the Giants till they lose. So, look, I refuse to jinx my own team. So even if they were playing Rutgers or Steinert High School in Hamilton, New Jersey, I'm going to pick against them. So until they lose, I'm picking the opposing team. But I do, in all honesty, I do believe, based on the matchups we talked about, I think it's going to be a 37-27 game. And that last touchdown by the Saints will be something like a deflected pick 6 kind of thing where the Giants are, our fans are heartbroken and fall to 1-3, unfortunately. But listen, man. That's why we line them up and play them, right? Because you never know what can happen. And the air around here is getting cooler. It feels like fall finally. The Giants are relevant at 1-2. And I think the division's still wide open. The Eagles did not impress me against the Colts. Everyone's out to get them. I do think the Eagles win this week like you do against the Titans. But this division's wide open. Dallas, I think, is a fraud. Washington's on bye, so they can't gain a game or at least a full game on us, or even if we win, it's a half a game up on them. But again, I was going to say Alex Smith is not I don't love Alex Smith, so anyway.
I got to ask you one question quick. I know we talked about this a few
Yeah.
times, but if we go back to last December, and I said to you, hey, Jerry, next September, we're going to be talking about how much, A, Eli Apple is playing better than Janoris Jenkins, and B, how much we're going to miss him playing against the Saints. Would you say I was a certified nut job?
I would say that whatever drugs you were taking, you should probably stop because it's affecting you.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe how important Eli Apple is, and I'm happy for him. This is everyone thinks that he stunk for 2 years. It's so not true. He had a good rookie year. He struggled with locating the ball a bit, but his coverage was good. It was last year where he just really fell off the rails. I thought after the Eagle game when he crashed into Jenkins and that nightmare of a kick that play set up where he crashed into Jenkins, and then he just went off the rails in the locker room. And who knows why that happened? But look. Yeah, I agree with you. I can't believe I'm saying it, that Eli Apple's injury probably hurts more than Olivier Vernon's right now.
There's no question it hurts more than Olivier Vernon right now because you know what? This league's all about cornerbacks, right? You need cornerbacks because everybody's throwing the ball, So, yeah, I don't think there's any question. Apple's been our best corner until he got hurt. And you know, Jerry, last year he was labeled as a cancer, by Landon Collins. In the locker room, he didn't get along with anybody. But I could tell you, Jerry, from being in the locker room all the time, he gets along with everybody. Apple, I see him, talking. He's next to, he's next to Landon in the locker room, and Apple's always talking with this guy and that guy and this guy. So I don't see any issue with Eli Apple. It was just one of those years that everything fell apart, Jerry. And you know what? There's nothing like that going on this year.
Yeah, so and that's one of the things Shermer said when he came on. Everybody had a clean slate, and that's what professional coaches give their players. And I think Shermer and Gettleman realized the talent that Apple had and wanted to give him a chance. And good for the kid. You root for the kid. You don't want him to fail. You want him to succeed. And the player we saw 2 years ago was a hell of a player. Yeah. And it looks like he's got his head on straight now. And it's a shame he went out with this injury because he was really coming on strong for him.
Yeah, you know what? I've talked to Eli a few times, Jerry. He's not a bad kid. He's just a little immature. Last year, sort of like our star, right? Odell at times a little immature, but another kid that's trying to grow up. That's figuring it out, Jerry. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you're young, you have to start figuring it out. And just, hey, Jerry, just quick thing about Shermer. How'd you like what you said to Red Ellison this week? Hey, tough guys win games.
Well, I loved it.
Don't you love that mentality on Shermer?
Yeah. Look, I was saying this before. I don't know, when you look at Shermer on the sidelines with the Giants polo and the Giants hat, I don't know if anyone looks more like the Giants head coach. If you could mold a Giants head coach in your head, someone somewhat conservative looking, wearing all the Giants gear. I don't know what it is about Shermer, but I think you would create Pat Shermer. And I don't know what kind of success he's going to have this year and next year and beyond. I think he's going to be a pretty successful coach with us. But he just looks like he belongs in this organization.
Yeah. Do you see, Jerry? I mean, I know. I wrote a piece about it in the Giant Insider for the next issue. Do you see, like I see, the tough, the players now, that tough mentality starting to like Sherman's a tough guy. Believe me, he played. He was offensive lineman. Do you feel that's rubbing off on this team now, Jerry?
100%. And I think one thing, Olivier Vernon's getting a little bit of a bad rap because their fans are starting to complain, and I get it. They signed him to a lot of money, but he has a high ankle sprain, and I think you said it. It's going to be 4 to 6 weeks, no matter what. Now he wants to come back. He's practiced 2 days in a row. It's probably killing him that he's not out there. So you know what? I think that attitude is kind of what Shermer's perpetuating throughout the whole organization. And you could see it with the players even, before last week's game. They didn't have their heads down. They went down 3-0, came right back down the field and scored. I think he's exuding a confidence and a toughness that hasn't been here since, I think Coughlin's earlier days. Yeah,
Jerry, it's good you brought up that point. Olivier Vernon's a pride. He's got a lot of pride, this guy. Trust me, it's killing him not being out there.
Right.
It's killing him.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of unfortunate luck here. He played a whole season with an injured wrist. He's been hurt since he's been here. I know, we gave him $85 million, the whole deal. This guy's got to play. I understand. But he's a tough guy. Olivier Vernon's a tough guy, Jerry. Okay? Yeah. He's a tough dude.
Yeah. Yep.
You get a high ankle sprain, you're not going, Jerry. I said that, right? I told you from the beginning. You mentioned numerous times. I said it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks. Guess what? It's 4 weeks, and hopefully we get him back by the 5th. You know, but I know it hurts me because, you know why? You haven't seen Olivier Vernon, you know, fully healthy, Jerry. And I wanted to see it. I was hoping that would happen this year, and it hasn't, you know. So, but let's hope the ankle does hold up, Bud, when he gets back, because he could be a big factor, you know, in his defense. Because he looked great, Jerry, before he got injured.
All right, buddy. We will leave it at that. All right, everyone, be sure to order your copy of the Giant Insider newspaper. Go to www.giantinsider.com or visit magster.com for a digital subscription. That's magzter.com. Yearly subs are $39.95 for paper copies, and the digital version is only $17 for a yearly subscription. It's 14 issues per year, as we're bi-weekly during the season and monthly in the off-season. Our next podcast will be 8 p.m. Monday night, October the 1st. I can't believe I'm saying October already. Thanks for listening, everyone, to A Bluer Nation. I'm Jerry Foley. He's Chris Bisignano. And remember, guys, Sundays are Giant days. We are 1-2, hoping to be 2-2, but Chris and I think we're going to be 1-3. But don't let that stop you from rooting your butts off, guys. Take care, everyone.
Take care, everybody.